Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have a brand new episode in our card spotlight series in which I look at a card that I feel is underplayed or underappreciated in Commander and discuss its merits. But before we do that, just a quick reminder to please click subscribe if you enjoy these videos. It's the only way the YouTube algorithm really notices me, and we're currently growing the channel and it helps me a lot. Much appreciated. And today we have a new card from the Phyrexia All Will Be One Commander product, which is Synthesis Pod. For 3 colorless and 1 Phyrexian blue, we have an artifact, and then it has an activated ability for 1 colorless and 1 Phyrexian blue, and tap. Exile a spell you control. Target opponent reveals card from the top of their library until they reveal a card with mana value equal to 1 plus the exiled spell's mana value. Exile that card, then that player shuffles. You may cast that exiled card without paying its mana cost. This is so sweet. So it's obviously a callback to Birthing Pod, which is an iconic card from New Phyrexia, which was absolutely broken in multiple formats and is just so strong. Really cool card in Commander, not too broken, because you do have to build your deck around it, but still very strong. And here we have Synthesis Pod, which is kind of trying to mimic it in the art and in the flavor and in the text. Let's start off by saying it's obviously nowhere near as broken as Birthing Pod, since it doesn't affect your own deck. You're stealing stuff from somebody else's deck, but that is kind of cooler in a way, because I don't know about you, but I love these kind of effects that are just totally random and they're going to shake up the game and make something really weird happen. So for me, I'm going to love putting this in my Ruhan of the Fomori deck, which is completely built around randomness and strange things and kooky cards. This is going to be really great there. But anyway, let's analyze the card a little bit first. So obviously, the cost is pretty high because you're going to have to exile a spell and you are getting something random from your opponent, but it's always going to be something that costs 1 plus the exile spell's mana value. So the first thing to note is that you can whiff off of this, which would be really, really awkward because you've exiled one of your own spells and then you're just not getting anything if you whiff. There is also the distinct possibility that you exile one of your own spells and get something really garbage or that doesn't work with your board state. So that's obviously a lot weaker than Birthing Pod. However, there are a lot of opportunities for some bonkers stuff to happen with this, and there are ways to break it. It's similar to a card like Chaos Wand, which we've seen before, except that only hits instants or sorceries or Dazzling Sphinx, but this is going to actually hit any card type, and obviously it's much cheaper because Chaos Wand costs 4 to activate, whereas this essentially only costs 1 mana and 2 life. So as I was mentioning, there are ways to break this, but it's not as easy as you might think, because obviously you could just do the typical thing of casting a 0 mana artifact in other decks like this, such as with Thibault's Trickery, countering it and then getting something really broken. But with this, you're only getting something that costs 1 mana more. So you're only going to get a 1-drop if you're exiling a 0 mana card. However, if you exile a copy of the card, that's when this gets really, really interesting, because for the mana value of copies, they retain the mana value of the original spell. So if you have a deck that's built around copying stuff, this could slide right in and be really, really good in that deck. So I think this is going to be awesome in a deck like Errant Street Artist, which is one I've been wanting to build for a while. I think this is going to be fantastic there with something like the new Jingataxias to copy your first spell each turn and then exile the copy with Synthesis Pod and hope that you get something really sweet from your opponent. Obviously, it's not the highest power thing, since usually keeping your own copy of the spell might be better. But that being said, you could just get something better with this. You could get anything. It could even be a boat. There's even more niche and more funky stuff you could do, like with Hive Mind. You could have Hive Mind in play, then this, then cast one of those spells that make you lose the game if the opponent doesn't pay at the beginning of their upkeep, and then you exile your own version of it, so you're not going to have to pay yourself, but your opponents are probably going to be pretty screwed, and they're going to have to waste a bunch of their mana in order to protect against losing the game. I don't know, I just think it's really sweet. There's probably a lot of things that I've missed and a lot of cool interactions that you could do with this. It's a Johnny card. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I've missed. So there you have it. That has been our card spotlight for today. What are your thoughts on this card? Let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!